This podcast is produced by Passion Nerdly in association with the Nerds Domain and our parent network, the Southgate Media Group. This podcast could not exist without their support or from support by Patreons like you. For more information on how you can get involved, visit passionnerdly.com. I remember stories from when I was younger. Tales of when the Empire grew vengeful and hunted the clans to the point of extinction. There were masters of deception, spies without equal, warriors of extraordinary ability. This is the legend of a brave few who fought to change the course of history and end the time of woe and terror. Our story begins at the Wooden Dojo. Hello and welcome back to the Wooden Dojo. I am your GM, John, and today I am joined by Cristi.
Hello.
Roxy.
Hello.
Chelsey.
Howdy.
Kevin.
Hey.
And David.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and recap a little bit from the last game.
Okay.
There really isn't so much to recap, but we'll touch on also events from the game before that.
A lot of talking.
Yeah, there was a
Yes.
lot of talking, a lot of information that was gained last game.
A lot of processing.
A lot of accents coming from the GM.
No,
last game.
absolutely. It's one of my thing is to wear many hats, and speak in silly.
Many tongues.
Yeah, exactly. So, when last we left our intrepid ninjas, you were at this temple location that was on the outskirts of the capital city of Daiwa. And at the same time, when you had first come here, there was sounds of the machinery and the wind, this air of foreboding. But now, after having defeated the people there, the sounds of all the machinery have faded away. There's a certain quietness to the area, but it still has a very creepy vibe to this place. The compatriots here have been handling the bodies of some marionettes, essentially, some people who had been captured and toyed with against their will by a specialist member of the engineers within the Emperor's army. And they have been rescued. They are being tended to. In the midst of all this, Kentaro has been carrying the remains out to be buried beyond the temple. He has, there were 3 people who were held captive, who are, were essentially left in captivity too long, not cared well enough. Who knows what the specific cause was, but they had passed away here. So he was treating them with a great deal of dignity and digging, sometimes using planks of wood that he had found. David, your character will see this as you're walking up. And sometimes using his hands to dig holes for these people. At some point, he is even returning inside, and he will be cutting down the engineer's body and going to bury it, as well as that of the executioner. He will be burying him as well. If anybody stops him to ask why those two, he's just like, it's just the right thing to do, and I don't want to see their bodies in here. So, coming into this scene, so David, your character is arriving back, and we'll be putting out an episode of what happened while you were away from the group for a bit. But here you are re-arriving, and we're going to go around the table. We're going to let everybody say what it is that they're doing briefly as you arrive. So, starting off with Cristi, what is your character doing?
Makoto is still currently tending to the remaining survivors. She's still setting bones, trying to make them as comfortable as she can. If have anyone go out to get some water, she'll be tending to that as well to try to get some fluids back into their body. If we have any traveling provisions, she'll probably try to give some to a couple that are able to eat, because I imagine, by the sounds of it, not many of them are to the point where they can actually
really
eat on
chew
their own.
or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Roxy, what is your character doing at this point?
Akemi is, having been consumed with reading this journal that she found, she is interested to know because the journal did not list the ingredients, and even though herbalism is not really her thing, she is interested to know, especially learning that it looks like these marionettes were likely recipients of this toxin that has since paralyzed them. She would want to look around for any vials or, equipment that, what was his name? Asa, Specialist Asa, would have used to concoct this poison and administer it, so.
Okay. So your character's looking through the journals for that, or is physically?
No, I was looking at through the building. We really
Okay.
haven't looked around the building yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so going on, Chelsey, what is your character doing?
So I think I'm also helping out with that same effort. After I ran into Akemi, or Akemi probably ran into me with her nose in the books,
Nose in
and
a
I'm
book.
giving her stack of all the things that she dropped while I was trying to clean. As she's, we talked about like the vials and all that. I kind of scurry up where Akemi was upstairs that found all the books, trying to see if there's any like hidden nooks or anything like that up there.
Right.
And also just trying to straighten up there because, there was a little bit of a mess as well. So I'm working towards that right now.
Okay. And Kevin, for your character.
I think Kinnojo is just going to be can I get a torch or something, and I'm gonna go down the stairs into this tunnel, and what do I see down there?
So taking a torch, you're going to notice that this tunnel, it's fairly short. We're saying about 5 feet tall.
Okay.
So you are having to hunch over in order to make your way.
Okay.
It is very damp. It is hewn stone.
Okay.
It is almost perfectly symmetrical in shape as a square, essentially 5 foot by 5 foot, moving away from this structure.
Okay.
And so very, very odd, kind of thing. It's like, this wouldn't have been common travel. Nobody's going to... who would be using this normally? So obviously it had some other purpose. But it's been there for a long time. The structure is sound.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially hewn stone, probably not natural to the area. So this has been constructed.
Okay, so I'm gonna just walk down a little ways.
Okay.
I don't know how long the tunnel is, but I'm gonna just walk down for a minute or so and see, run my hands along the wall, see if I can find anything, any secret passageways or anything like that. I don't know.
The tight walls, the material that it's made out of, running your hands over the wall echoes. I mean, it is so quiet in here. I mean, it is your footsteps in your hands that you can hear.
Okay.
And so this must actually be fairly long.
Okay. All right. So yeah, after I go down for a little ways, I don't see any light coming out of the end.
Nope. But so your character is going to be doing that.
Yeah.
While at this point, Sannosuke.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it right this time.
Yeah.
Sannosuke. Your character arrives on the scene. So, how you see all this before you? How are you reacting?
When he sees them digging the graves, he would stop for a moment, think about it, and then he would go and look for the best tool he could find, like a shovel or something he could use. And he would come back and he would just start help digging the graves.
Okay. All right. So yes.
We need 2 more. I should have got a karma. for having my curiosity be insatiable, and then one for David.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Six
because David
now.
is coming into the table. So, here is the big question at this point: is you two are looking for
Yeah,
ingredients?
she's
Yes,
upstairs.
I'm upstairs, both cleaning up
So
and
we've switched
searching.
places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
I'm looking around the main
So,
floor for any other rooms or
how are you going around about doing this? What?
looking with my eyeballs. I don't know.
So you're going to
Is
be
it
using
well?
perception.
Is it dimly lit or
It is dark.
is dark?
So, and there are other rooms
are.
adjacent to this structure, this large room. You remember when you were outside, it was obvious that it was a central chamber, much like a very common appearance of a temple, but there had been a couple other structures added on later, years later, so there probably are a few more rooms that are attached to this building.
Okay. I would say then that I use my perception and my intuition as an engineer and knowing how buildings are structured a lot of times or how a temple might be structured to say there's clearly another place that I can look around,
Okay.
So I start at one side and I methodically would work my way around. If it's dark, I don't even think do I have any kind of, are there any lights or torches? I know he took a torch or lit one to go down into the tunnel, but is there any light sources in the building itself?
There are light sources here in the building that you could use, and as always, remember that Ninja's Crusade is a cinematic style game.
So I have a
you
torch.
You have a torch.
And I'm going to start
You just need to light it.
at the... Oh, I'm sure I figured that out.
You're an engineer after all.
I shoot my gun at it, it lights on fire. That's what they do in the movies. So, if we're going to be cinematic now. But no, yes, I find a way to light a torch. And I would probably start at the opposite end from where the ogre was.
Okay.
And I would go, and like I said, using perception and intuition, unless you would like to make a different call on that.
Let's go for that. That'll be great.
Okie dokie. Try these 6 here.
Dang.
6, man.
Yeah, this is looking at things is what I'm good at. Maybe. That is 3 successes.
Okay. This wasn't really hidden, so you only needed 2 successes to really be
Sweet.
able to do it. It would have been a moderate success.
Okay.
You find some containers. In one of these rooms, there are essentially 3 rooms beyond just this central hall.
Okay.
The first room, the room that is furthest away, appears to be more than likely where the specialist was using as barracks.
Okay.
Staying as far away from everything else. Perhaps he just wanted the peace and quiet or whatever. There's nothing really in this room. The second room, however, is a storeroom.
Okay.
And this is where you manage to find some vials, all of which are unlabeled.
Of course.
There is a fairly large cask, and there are marked, however, casks of water.
Okay.
And so that is what you find here.
Okay. What about the third room?
Going into the third room, you find what likely was the ogre's room.
Okay.
The bedding here is
Gross.
soiled likely, but there are also the equivalent of large children toys. Balls, pinwheels, all sorts of things for a very simple mind.
Yeah. Okay. And those are the only other 3 rooms?
Those are the only other 3 rooms.
Alrighty. Well, I would... Oh.
I was going to say, at the same time, your character is looking around, though, Chelsey. So what are you doing?
So I've scurried up the rope ladder that Akemi had found up there. Kind of just picking up like random like pens and other like paper that kind of been like very likely I can imagine scattered around. So just trying to straighten that stuff up, but also just I'm when I'm imagining like the rafters up there, if there's anything that looks like it's a little bit more bulky than maybe it should be, or if there's something that looks like extra supported, if there's something that might be hidden in the rafters.
Okay, so you're definitely again using perception, and what else would you say you're looking using for that?
I'm thinking maybe like crafts, just to see if there is a way that it was made or installed that it could be hiding something.
Let's go ahead and make that roll.
Great.
And before you roll, I do need to tell you, this one, however, will be a tough challenge.
And I only have 3 dice, so let's do this.
Do you want to use some?
Yes. Yeah, take some karma.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can only do one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I have 3 successes.
There you go. So you
Fantastic.
met it.
The karma one gave me the 10 with the 2, so.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. So you begin manipulating the stuff up there, trying to see what you can find, checking to see the structures. Is there a hidden compartment or anything else? And nothing really catches your eye until you start checking on the mechanism. And there's something very odd about one thing, and you reach past the levers and pull out, and it appears to be a funnel on a what appears to be kind of a oddly tube made of a very odd material. You're not really familiar with it. It could be possibly sewn together a skin or something. But whatever it is, you're like, well, this was obviously used to pour liquid into something that has to do with this. But you don't know really much more beyond that.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. So I would then grab... You said there were 3 vials?
There are about 3
Unlabeled?
vials that are unlabeled, a large cask that has a powder in it, and then there are also a couple of different casks of water.
Okay, so there's a large cask also that has powder in it. It's not black powder, though.
Because of your knowledge, yes, actually it is.
Okay. I would refill my my powder nozzle, whatever that's called, my powder pouch.
Okay.
And I would take the other 3 little vials of unlabeled powders, and I would interrupt our herbalist as she was doing her work and say, "What are these? What are these?"
What's in the vial?
I'll set him down at her. I'll set him down at her feet, and I'll go, "What are those?"
All right. So she has brought you the vials and everything else. You have found the funnel. Are you going to be bringing that back down as well?
Yeah, if that's the one thing that I had found after I finished kind of collecting the other odds and ends, I'm coming back down.
Okay. David, you managed to find a shovel. It takes you a while to find it, but you find one near the structure. It's not in the greatest shape at all, but it's definitely better than using your hands. And you begin to assist Kentaro, digging graves and burying. All right. The work goes by much quicker, and Kentaro thanks you, and he likely begins to say a prayer. You always wondered a little bit about him, if he's had some sort of religious training, the way he carries himself, and just overall demeanor. And there's a certain reverence to what he's doing. Maybe that's a part of his past. You're not really certain, but he's at that point. This is where he's at. He's probably going to be there for a while, listening to him. These are repetitive meditative chants.
Gotcha.
So, what is your character going to be doing at that point?
Once they finish and he starts to do his prayers, I would have kneeled for a moment and sat with him as he started. Then, as I noticed that it was going to be going on for a while, then I would have quietly got up and walked back to find the rest of the group.
Okay. You find them, of course, inside, doing the actions that they've described so far. So here, please, everybody is once together, back together. So I'm certain there's plenty to talk about.
I'm scurrying down the ladder and be like, "Hey, what's this?" And I show this funnel with this weird attachment, like, Akemi, does this material look familiar? Like, is this something?
Yeah, does it look familiar to me, or can I discern its use? Besides pouring liquid?
Go ahead and give me a perceptions crafts.
Perceptions? Okay, well, that's not too bad.
I will say, however, to Cristi, perception holistics.
Ooh.
Roxy, yours is going to be a tough. That's going to be a difficulty 3, while yours is a difficulty moderate. So 2.
I got 5 successes.
Dang.
Okay.
Oh. two
Look at
10s
you.
and a
Oh, 2
7.
10s. Nicely
10s and
done.
a 7.
Yeah, I'm like.
You don't know? Taste it. Now what do you do?
Lick it.
Yeah.
The funnel, looking at it and just your general knowledge of working with water and other things, you know that obviously this has been used for liquids. I mean, that's simple. It's a funnel.
Yeah, does
Right.
it smell or
But
anything?
it has a residue to it.
A residue.
A white powdery residue.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
You guys, did that mean something to y'all, or did you just say, "Oh, because I'm lost"?
Just said.
Well, I mean,
I
Akemi
have,
just found all the
I
powders.
have 3 powders. So
this was used as a device.
Are they white powders?
to?
Yes.
Or is this anthrax?
Well, this is Well, then this probably was to administer the poisons to keep them.
So what kind of size of this funnel are we talking about?
Well, just think.
Because I'm picturing like an oil funnel,
relatively.
and then with like a tube coming off
Yes.
of it, like a beer bong. Kind of.
That's
kind of
that's
what
a
I'm
fair
seeing
that's
in
a
my
fair
head.
assessment.
Yeah.
I think that's a very fair assessment. But
I'm
putting 2 and 2 together.
I saw these in the academy. No. So these were probably force fed to people.
Yeah.
It was in the mechanism, and I describe how I found it whenever I was reaching past the mechanisms up there.
Yeah. Interesting. But you don't know what these powders are. Now I will.
she hasn't
I
checked yet.
I haven't checked yet.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Probably at the same time that you were like, "What are these powders?" I'm like,
I'm like,
"What is this
"Ah."
funnel?" Makoto.
She's gonna wrap up what she's doing with the
Makoto.
the survivors, and because I think at this point, until she starts doing poison removal, she's probably done as much as she can with the physical ailments. So now she'll make sure they're comfortable, and she'll change her attention to the stuff that's in the vials now and see what she can figure out.
Okay.
John, is there some place in this facility somewhere we can go? I can find some water, like a bowl or something I can work kind of clean up.
Yeah, there you can find some water, definitely. There are a few casks here.
Okay. So imagine when I come in from digging, that the top of my kimono is probably pulled down and kind of wrapped around my waist. And I'm a little dirty and sweaty looking, so I will want to kind of clean up some.
And I imagine I come out of the tunnel at this point, and I'm just gonna kind of crack my back. And, oh man, it's built for really short people. You'll be right at home, Taya.
Yay!
Makoto looks at you.
I don't know. I'm a tall guy. All right. So, what did you guys find? You guys find the poison? Oh, hey, Sannosuke, how's it going?
Yeah, I would then at that point, if someone actually called him out, I'd be like, oh, because I'm focused on a task. I'm not paying attention to anything else. But yeah, so are you over like across the way cleaning up, or do you approach us?
Wherever would have found some water, I would have just set it up there and then, just started kind of like wiping
Are
down.
you just over in the casks of water in the storage area?
He's across the floor, arena floor, like just wiping down his rippling muscles.
Nice. It's a dark room. We're like, what are you doing?
It's a cistern from runoff from the roof. So.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, well, get over here. We have stuff. We have stuff to talk about. I didn't think we were going to see you until later. I'm glad you came back. So, yeah. And we would proceed to...
She's looking at these... Makoto's looking at these powders. We need some more light in here.
So I got my torch, and you've got...
Yeah, I've got the torch that I had. So we hold those over, and while she investigates, and Sannosuke approaches us after
She pops it open.
Okay.
And does it have a smell to it?
A few between the three of them, one of them definitely has a smell. Mm-hmm. Kind of a strong, pungent, almost. Think of something earthy that's been ground up, kind of smell to it. But the other two are much drier in smell. Go ahead and let's go do a holistics and
Survival?
Perception. Or a survival would work too.
I'll try survival and see if I maybe run across... Especially the one that smells more earthy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something that I might recognize out and about in my travels.
Okay. This will be a tough
Would you
challenge.
like some karma?
As Kevin ever so
Yes.
casually pushes the karma pool to you.
Definitely.
There we go. And we'll catch you up here in a second, Sannosuke. We're watching her taste these powders. It's a lot of dice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're all getting to do our big rolls today.
Mm-hmm.
Once we start talking to people, I'll be able
4
to do that.
successes.
All right.
Nice.
So you have your 4 successes there, putting you one over the top of that success. Necessary.
Yay.
So the question is, looking through these powders, trying to discern what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You're not exactly certain on the earthy one, but you are like, okay, it's definitely a root.
Right.
And
She'll take a little tiny bit and just kind of dab it on the tip of just like a little minuscule.
Sarsaparilla.
There is an acidic taste to it that
Should not be on your tongue right now.
probably should not be on your tongue, but more importantly, would be impossible to disguise in water if they had managed to poison a village. That's what goes through your mind.
Okay.
You did well enough on that test with holistics. You're like, okay, nobody would have drank water if this was in it.
No.
So you rule that one out.
This has got to be part of something else. So that one, no.
Yeah. The second one, you begin to look at it. You give it a little bit of a waft and a sniff to it, and you're like, it has no smell whatsoever.
Okay.
Touch it, taste it a little bit. You're not certain. You don't think this is it. It has more of a texture or taste of talc or chalk.
Okay.
And you're pretty sure whatever this is fully neutral. Maybe it's meant
It's a base.
a base or to dilute something.
Okay.
And the final one, I mean, at this point, you're just like, okay, those first two, who knows? This last one, I'm a little bit worried. I mean, the reactions that it can happen. But it is a white powder.
Mm-hmm.
And it is fairly fine. You're pretty sure that it would dilute incredibly quickly in water.
Is it real, like silt-like kind of? Okay.
Yeah. And so, are you going to go ahead and try that taste test with it?
No.
Okay.
She's like, not on this one. She's like, this one, because if it's that fine, it definitely feels like it's been more refined.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
see, and I would
definitely
have
been-
pointed out that there was a white residue on the funnel.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
And it didn't have a smell either.
No.
let's just put the cap back on that one.
Yeah. Whatever is
So-
causing this, this is probably our main culprit here.
We'll want to try and use vial number 1 as an antidote, or
No, it's not anything.
Yeah. You're looking at more than likely actually having to take your time,
Figuring it
and
out.
now that you think you know what it is, figuring out something that has a reaction to it.
Yeah.
You know, you're essentially going to be trying to dilute or break down whatever's happening in the people. Sannosuke, as your character, as you appear in this room and you're washing off, you do notice that so there are 12 survivors, and they are lying on the ground. They have not moved. You notice that their eyes are moving, and a few of them, like maybe a finger or two, is kind of moving. One of them, it might be even kind of licking their lips. Kind of symptoms that you would associate with someone coming out of either a coma or a form of paralysis.
Right, so they've been given some kind of paralytic.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's very obvious that the team is trying to figure out what's going on. But you're looking overall. Makoto is looking at the task of caretaking for this group, as well as the medical care for this group with what's going on.
Was any of our group injured in the combat?
I believe that I think it was Kinnojo. Didn't you take? You took a minor hit.
I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you took a minor hit, and I think, for the most part, they were focused so much on Kentaro, who just moved with such alacrity that they could not touch him. That kind of not, the combat was shorter lived than was expected, and the most of the combat was also against the marionettes with their blades, and yeah. So.
I mean, at some point we are going to have to, because we can't move these people. And I will tell Makoto that the journal I found does say that whatever the ingredients for the paralytic toxin are, they're all found easily around this temple.
Huh.
And I'm pretty sure it said 3 ingredients, right?
Yeah.
See, I was hoping that each vial was one of the ingredients, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Unless one could have been like a binding
Yeah.
agent or something.
Yeah, Sannosuke, I found, you see me carrying, because it actually says on the front of it, the diary of...
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Yoka.
Asa Yoshiaki.
Yeah, is Yoshiaki his last name?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so I should be Yoshiaki Asa?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I have the diary of the guy I killed upstairs, and he had tested this poison out on a town, and it didn't go so well because they were too heavy-handed, and they ended up killing the entire village. Excuse me. And so he's been testing it out here. What'd you say?
I said she's had a long day at work today. She's already been up since early this morning.
I just didn't sleep well, but last night. But yeah, so that's what we've learned. At least that's all that I've discussed that we've learned at this point.
Yeah, and then I'm also going to ask Kinnojo about the tunnel. And besides that, it's good for people of my stature.
Yeah.
Any other findings
or? I get a crick in my neck if I go down that thing, but no, it's just sort of a damp, dark tunnel. It goes on for a ways too. I walked down for a couple of minutes and didn't seem to make any progress at all. So if somebody wants to run down there, you are certainly welcome to. But
do we need to send somebody back to Aroda Ryokans? Also?
Well, at this point, somebody does need to go back there, let them know that it's cleared.
I mean, what time of day are we at?
At this point, you are into early evening.
Yeah.
How long would it take us to get back to him?
Maybe less than an hour. I mean,
To him and back?
to him and back, probably a little bit more time than that, especially because the city is there's going to be some nightlife, but that's all going to be going into different districts. It's not going to be in the districts that you came into. Most of those districts have now people are going to the different essentially hotels, and so the nightlife in that area is dying down, and nightlife is picking up in other districts such as the Floating Worlds and which the I guess you could say pleasure districts.
Mm-hmm.
So gambling houses, the clubs essentially.
Okay.
Just trying to think of how could we get back, like would we look suspicious traveling back towards that above ground, or should I run through the tunnel and just see where it takes me and try to send the message quickly?
Well, the tunnel goes out of town.
Yeah, it doesn't go back into the city. It goes all the way out of town past the walls of the city.
Okay, so past where
Yeah.
Arata Ryokan.
Yeah, Araryokan's in town.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
because he
it's
was
going
used
the
again.
opposite way.
Okay. Yeah, never
Yeah.
mind.
This was the way that they were getting through the walls secretly.
That's right. Okay, never mind then.
But it does seem like somebody should go back.
And of course, if you're looking for any assistance handling this situation, because you do have other goals while you're in town.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, let's leave. What if we leave Kentaro here to look after the people?
Okay.
And we five go back and try to get to Arata Ryokan and tell him what's up. He can either come back with us or tell us the names of the people he sent out, so we know who's on our
General
side and
descriptions.
who's just regular people.
Okay. And going into that, as we go at this scene, I do want to also let Makoto know, because you were using your key to start to heal some of these people, because one of the things you'll notice, David, there are bruises on some of the people that would be, especially with your knowledge of having been tortured or other things, some of these look like bruises that would affect muscles, possibly torn ligaments, if not broken bones. And so she has been setting some of these wounds and other things, and using her power of key to, if you see it at any point, she is molding this bright, this warm, bright energy between her hands, and moving it across their arms and areas. But there comes a point where you are out of key.
Yeah.
You probably have already started to try and draw a key from the environment. And after you've drawn that second key and you go for that last one. No? You don't try and draw more?
We already drew the key from the area last time.
There were 2 points left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So there were 2 points left after everybody drew the key. Were you going to take those as well?
She'll take one.
Okay.
She doesn't want to completely deplete the area.
All right. So, how many key did you have to begin with? Because eventually, essentially, you would have, if you got 2 or 3 yourself.
For the skill that I used, I had 2, so I'd have 1 left now. If
All
I
right.
took 1 left.
So, it is possible that you have managed to really aid, and those people are beginning to show signs of movement. They could possibly be up and moving in in like a day or 2.
Right.
So,
Wow.
obviously, an antidote would speed this process up to where they could be up within hours.
Yeah, she would try. She might actually want to stay here for a little while to see if she could try to come up with some sort of alchemic solution to this.
Okay.
To see if she can speed up the healing for the ones that she couldn't
All right.
do a whole lot for.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to try and do it as kind of an extended challenge. So I'm going to take the rest of the group, and they're going to go ahead and go back to Arata Ryokan's. And if you can go ahead and do, let's say, 10 challenges and of the holistics and whatever skill you're trying to use with that, whether it's some form of discipline or something like that.
How does that work? So She's gonna roll 10 times.
10 times. Count
How
up
many
your
successes does she need, or is it? So is she trying to hit a target number of successes?
Essentially.
I'm gonna basically use crafts
Okay.
for this since it's a
And
trying to decraft.
And go ahead, write down per roll what you're getting,
Okay.
and we will move on from there while you're doing that. Okay. So the rest of you are going to be going to the Arada-ryokans.
Yep.
So you begin to make your way again out of this temple this temple section. It's a very small section. There's that path up the hill through the woods, this unkept path, and out through a gate, entering into a portion of the noble district that is very quiet. It doesn't seem like a lot of people come out this way.
Right.
And you begin to make your way back out of the noble district, crossing over into kind of a commerce area and a general market. And there are, of course, the few hotels where there are people outside still calling for business. People are saying we still have rooms available if they do. You keep your path. The markets are, for the most part, shut down. But as you approach the brew house, you can hear that there is obviously still, celebration and other things happening at Arada-ryokans.
I do want to say that before we left, I left the books on plants that I had found in the guy's stuff upstairs.
Okay.
I told you about them, and I left those with you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know if that helps.
I'm going to say, based on that and based on your knowledge combined, go ahead and add another dice with that book.
To Oliver rolls?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So, okay, so there's stuff going on at...
There is celebration and merriment at Arada-ryokans.
Did he give us, not necessarily a code word or a passphrase or anything, but did he give us anything to where we could let him know that we need to talk to him?
Not per se.
Okay. So we can just be like, oh, we need to talk to
Pretty much similar
Joe.
to the first
Get
time.
in there. Okay.
Upon arrival, there is some acrobatic displays. There is, of course, this team of acrobats and a group of performers dressed up and doing a dance dressed as dragons. There's a head of a dragon on one person, this length of cloth, highly decorated, going back and covering up a second person, and they move about the arena, shooting fake confetti into the air, and it looks like steam coming out of its mouth, and they're doing this dance like a dragon around the room, and the people are applauding, of course, again. You don't see any of the staff that you recognize from there earlier in the day, but you do see up on the second floor, sitting at one of the tables, you do see your contact.
And that was... I have written down Koizumi.
It's Arada Koizumi.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd like to make my way up there at least. If everybody else wants to come too, you're welcome.
I'll follow along.
All right. So I'd like to walk up, and can I just get straight to him?
Yeah. The music up here is cacophonous. You hear the sounds of the gongs and everything else from down below. And he sees all of you, approaching, and he nods and he motions over towards the corner of the room.
Nice.
Go with him.
And it's a little easier to hear in this corner.
Okay.
But he's basically like, well, I must say I'm pleased to see you and surprised to see you this evening. So what's going on? How can I help you?
Well, we are pleased to be anywhere after what we've found. The job is done. The way is clear.
That's great news.
But there are loose ends, and we'd appreciate your presence at the place where we did the job.
Oh. Well, let me see what I can do about that.
I don't expect that it would be necessary immediately, but sometime tonight, perhaps
That would be
well
best.
after dark.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be perfect. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Hope that we and my people can keep doing business with you into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right.
And he pulls you into an embrace. This claps you on the back a couple times, like you've told him the funniest joke or something. He's just like, pushes you away and wanders back to the table.
All right, and I just sort of shake my finger at him like you, and then I walk back off.
Akemi is just like,
Inside joke.
yeah. She peers over her glasses, cleans them, and looks away.
So as you're all doing this, I think that Sannosuke, go ahead and give me a perception, and we're gonna say perception, and we're gonna go with stealth. Actually,
Ooh. I want to look around, but I don't want anybody to know.
We got 3 successes.
okay. There is a flash in the crowd surrounding Arata Ryokans, like as people are moving about, and as you see the crowds move, it's as if at one point the crowd parts briefly, and you see one of the figures from this morning that was sitting at the table next to you. One of the figures from the table that had thrown the sharpened cup.
Okay.
And the crowd, of course, it's very briefly. You see him, the crowd, again, people start moving again, and you don't see him. It's as if he is out here trying to hide. Perhaps trying to blend in with the crowd.
Okay.
So, all right.
Am I near the rest of the group?
You can be at this point. More than likely, Kentaro is coming back down to the group.
Kinnojo.
Kinnojo, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
So Kinnojo is coming back down to the group, and yeah.
I would share that with the group, let them know that I saw him.
Think he's going to try anything tonight?
Looks like he's trying to hide in the crowd right now.
Who is this guy? It's got me curious.
I almost want
Akemi, does it have you curious?
What?
Can I try like a persuade?
Can he trigger my flaw? Can he trigger my trigger?
So we get a little bit of a social interaction going on here. So you've noticed that she's very curious and very easily drawn into her curiosity. So how are you trying to manipulate her?
I don't know. Maybe I can't think of a better role than perform and deception.
Okay.
Or perform and persuasion, or
Let's go perform persuasion for you. But
Is this an opposed roll?
that's the question. Are you going to oppose this? Are you going to be like,
I'm
no?
probably like, what?
So
What are you talking about? Because I may not even have realized that something was going on this morning.
okay. So
what would my...
So discipline more than likely, because it deals with your mental concentration. But then how are you going about it from there? What way are you staying disciplined? Or how are you working together with something else?
I might be trying to perceive his intentions. Does that work? Can I do a perception?
Yeah.
Discipline perception?
Yeah, absolutely. That's that.
Because you
I
are
like that.
trying to trigger my sudden genius, insatiable curiosity thing. So we're going to go back to my 6. Oh, I got only 1.
3.
And I got 2 1s with that. So.
Nah, it's fine.
So, he manages to pique your curiosity, and
Because you tell me that he vanished, and I'm like, no, people don't do that. That's something's going on. So Akemi is like,
no, I said that he vanished in the. You know what? Never mind. Yeah, go and do your thing.
Well, he keeps showing up, and he tried to attack and injure somebody this morning, and he's here trying to hide.
Can
in
we
the
still
same
see
place
him?
He did that.
Not right now. Nobody can actually see him currently.
Okay.
That's the best way to put it.
But it's a pretty large crowd going
Okay.
on right now.
So just asking based on, because frankly I don't remember 2 or 3 episodes ago when it's been several episodes ago now when we had that. Did I see the individual?
That specific individual, no, but Sannosuke had informed everyone at the table that something had
Shifty
happened.
was going on, yeah.
And everybody took note of it. So you at least have
we all took
slight
note of it.
familiarity with at least the people from that table.
Okay.
He's the only one who knows specifically who threw the cup.
Okay, but I don't see anybody currently from my current vantage point.
They disappeared into the crowd. I mean, you can try and look around.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go up a little higher.
Okay. So, how are you climbing? Are you doing this with might, athletics?
Well, I thought there was stairs or
Oh,
something.
are you good? Okay. So
I was
yeah.
gonna at least head up,
So
at least halfway up the stairs.
Okay. But so you go up the stairs and you're looking around. So you're still using perception, but I need to know how you're being perceptive. You could be using a little bit of your
eyeballs.
trained look that you're used to with your rifle.
Trying to
you're
see,
trying, maybe a little bit of.
Marksman.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have I think all my marksman points are. Well, I mean, those are my bonuses to marksmanship is if I'm actually shooting or attacking.
So you wouldn't get those.
But I could still use marksman
Yeah.
just because of my eyes.
'cause
Because I'm trying to pinpoint.
Yeah, you're thinking of it as if you're looking for a target.
Okay. That's one success.
You think that you see
Something familiar, but
something familiar, but it's like maybe they saw you. It's hard to say, but yeah, there's definitely somebody out there trying to hide, but maybe they moved on.
Was it on the same floor as us that we saw?
Yeah.
'Cause-
More. This would have been outside. So you went up the stairs. You're looking out the door a little
Okay,
bit.
out
oh,
the
he's
door.
outside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a crowd out. Sorry, there is a crowd outside of Ryokan's that's kind of milling about, and that's where the person's kind of hiding and is moving
Oh.
about through that crowd.
Okay, I was just
Okay.
thinking we were still inside because I was about to try to use stealth since I am so small to work
Yeah,
my way
I
through
thought
the
he
crowd.
was just on the bottom floor, so that's why I got higher inside. But okay, then well, her curiosity is piqued and she wants to at least see if she can confirm that it's the same person that she noted or one of the people that she noted in the morning. So I'm going to go outside.
All right, so you begin looking around. Is everybody else in the group going to be following her?
I'd actually like to buy 2 drinks.
Okay.
I don't know if we have beer or
Yeah.
yeah. So, I'd like to buy 2 beers, and I'm gonna start looking for the guy too.
All right.
And I'm gonna sort of, hopefully, if I find him, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, here's a drink. Hey, how's it going? What are
And
you
then
doing
keep
here?"
the glass for DNA evidence.
Yeah, for fingerprints.
That's right.
All right. So,
Yeah.
so we're going to pause here with the team at Ryokan's, and we're going back to Makoto briefly at the temple. So, you, with the assistance of Kentaro, are checking over the bodies, taking care of them. What did you manage to get?
My total successes?
Total successes, but if you want to read them off.
Okay. First round was 3. Second round was 2. Third round was 7.
Whoa.
Fourth was 2. 5 was 3. Sixth was 3. 7 was 2. 8 was 4. 9 was 6. And the last one was 5. So 36 total.
Whoa.
Fantastic.
That's great. So you are fairly certain that with Kentaro's help and some, I mean, you've deciphered this. You have
Okay.
figured out, okay, this is how they have made this.
Okay. So
Which
she knows exactly what's in it.
you
now.
know exactly what is in this
Cool.
now. You know that this powder that you have, that third vial, is the finalized form. of whatever it was that has been done to these people. It was diluted in water and given to them in a specified dose that allowed them not to die.
Right.
So you've also managed to figure out what things in the immediate environment as well will allow you to counteract this.
Okay.
And you think that best case scenario, after giving them the antidote, they could be up and moving within 12 hours.
That's pretty good considering.
Yeah. This raises a little bit of concern in your head because at the same time, that means you have, in 12 hours, 12 people that know exactly what happened here. So I'm going to let that go through your head with the situation. And back to our group. So I've got some people looking for people.
Yep.
Who all is going to be looking around?
I will be.
I'm figuring most everyone's going to start looking for this guy. Is Sannosuke going to be looking?
Yes, I did take a detour by the, I guess it would be the bar area or something, and to find a bottle of sake.
Okay. Yeah, easily purchasable.
A bottle of Ryokan's finest.
That might be rather expensive, but hey, if you want to spend all your coin.
I hadn't intended actually on paying for it.
Oh.
I was going to walk over to where they were. I was going to find one and pick it up and walk away with it.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and be sure to get maybe a deception and stealth.
I was thinking more like if they tried to stop me, I was just going to seem intimidating.
Is this to one of the bar staff or to one of the people at the table?
Like the bar staff. I was just going to be like, no, he said I could have this. And just take it. And then see if they tried to even question me.
Okay, well, let's just go for it and see where it goes.
So is that a deception intimidation roll?
Well, yeah, because he definitely is not being truthful.
Or stealthy.
Yeah, so go for it. Let's get that deception intimidation.
I am not very deceptive, so...
Uh-oh.
A 7 and a 10, so...
3.
3 successes, that's not bad.
Hey, there we go. For now, the bar staff that it was a young waiter who is at one of the counters. He just is like, for a moment there, I mean, there's a look on his face. He's just like, I don't know what to do. And just kind of muscle memory and knowing being a bartender, he grabs a hold of that little buoy in his mind and starts serving drinks to the other people around him and ignoring you. So you managed to walk away with a bottle of sake. So let's get, how is everybody looking for this individual at this point? So going back to Akemi.
I go out into the crowd. I don't have my my hat on. What is that called?
I don't even remember at this point.
Okay,
But you don't have
I'll
your
look
hat
it
on.
up. I need to find it. I need to look it up anyway. I used to know, but I make sure I don't have my hat on, so I'm not drawing unnecessarily. I mean, I still have a rifle strapped to my back, but probably not drawing
As much attention.
without the peaked cap on. But I start kind of scanning the crowd again, looking for my target, using all my perception skills and any clues as to where he was first seen.
So kind of hunting your target a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to use...
Yes, I'm stalking my prey.
I would let
I
you
have something for
replace
that?
survival in there if you wished on one of those skills.
Yeah, just 1 second. Let me look something up.
All right, while you're doing that...
Roxy.
Yeah.
Were you talking about your Jingasa hat?
Is that what it is?
That soldier metal kind of cone hat thing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, your Jingasa.
My Jingasa.
Okay.
So yeah, I take off that. So I don't want that on.
While she's doing that, Chelsey, how are you going to be looking for this individual?
So outside, I was trying to find if there's things I could use to like stealthily like follow like where there might be a way outside, or going to another area. Like if they just had like big kegs outside for decoration, like trying to like hide behind those and kind of like creep around them and kind of follow around the corners.
You're trying
to find them.
If you want to augment the scene to say that does exist, you can spend a karma.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
There we go. Okay, so that's 1 karma out of the pool.
Everybody out of the pool.
Lightning is striking.
Does that reset every scene, John?
No, it doesn't.
Every
Every session.
Okay.
So, all right. So it does exist. So what is your test you're going to be doing then?
So I was going to do stealth and perception.
Stealth and perception. Okay.
And then also +1 to stealth because I'm using concealment tolerant folks couldn't use because they wouldn't be able to hide behind kegs very well.
All right.
Nice.
That's why I wanted the kegs in the scene.
Go ahead and add 1 to the test because I like the description.
Do stealth plus that 1. Let's see. Three successes.
3 successes. Okay. Kevin, your character.
Okay, so I've got 2 drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember what this guy looks like. I didn't see him just now, right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
remember what the table looks like. So you are trying to find someone that was at that table.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around to people and I'm gonna pretend to be a little drunk, and
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna just like set a drink down, mess on my hair a little bit, and rub my eyes really hard to look a little bloodshot, and I'm gonna come up to people and get a little bit too close and have a little bit of beer and breathe at them and say, "Hey, have you seen my friend? He looks like this. I can't find him. I thought he was over that way, but I can't see him anywhere."
Okay.
Um,
So how a little perform deception maybe?
Yep, that's what I was hoping for.
Okay.
You drunkard. Or
Yep.
quote unquote drunkard.
Three successes.
Okay. David, go ahead.
Yes.
What is your character doing to look for him?
I am walking around, kind of around the perimeter, and then just kind of scanning the area, staying away from the opposite approach of what he was doing, basically.
Okay. So how do you go about that then? Your perception in what?
Let's see. What would be good for this?
If you're trying to concentrate because you're trying to stay away from the groups, you could always go for discipline.
That or intuition or something.
Yeah, intuition could work as well if you're looking to use your gut feelings about it.
Thinking where places where he may likely be trying to hide.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
So go ahead and roll.
Intuition and perception, right? Okay. One success.
Okay. And Roxy, coming back to you. So how did you decide?
I was looking at, because I have a fighting style, but I'm not gonna. I was wondering how that one worked, but yeah, no, I do. If you want to do, I would rather we didn't do survival.
Okay.
But I mean, if you think that that's best.
It was if you were approaching this more from like a hunting your prey perspective.
Yeah, I'm not so much of a hunting of prey. I'm more of a sentry marksman. So,
So I could imagine finding a singular spot, staying still, and looking for your target. Then, so
Yeah.
that would be again your marksman perception.
okay. Yeah, I was seeing if the snake fighting style had anything like that, but it really
No,
don't.
not really.
Just one. I'm not seeing him.
Okay.
Having trouble.
So,
little trouble.
painting this scene. This is at Arata Ryokan's. The music and the performers are outside, and the team has moved outdoors to try and scan for him. And it's hard because it kind of is this weird mulling groups, people moving about it, talking to different people. Bets are being made. People are this trading coin back and forth. They're just like, oh, you think you know this? Well, let me tell you that this is who is actually going to win on the fight, or this is what's actually going to happen. This sort of thing. And at the very same moment, both Kinnojo and Taya, you spot him. And you're kind of out the streets a bit, or a little, you're over by the barrels. You're over in the streets. You've managed to move your way through the crowd, and you both spot him, and you see each other on the opposite side of him as well. Kind of, you're that moment where you kind of look across and you kind of make eye contact, and he's right there in the middle between you. So, what are you two going to do? How are you going to react to this?
Is he carrying anything in his hands, or what is he doing? Is he with other people?
It looks like he might have a sake cup or something with him, but the way he's carrying it, you would think there are probably no contents in it.
Okay.
It's probably just for show.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep up the slightly drunk front, and I'm gonna just sort of walk up to him and say, "Hey, when I asked for one drink, they gave me two. You want one?"
Okay. You see him starting to walk towards. How's your character reacting?
I am like, dude, but we also didn't talk about what we were going to do if we found him, so of
No
course
plan.
you're going to be out there. Secondly, I'm probably starting to take on like a defense mechanism, because like if we can't see the sake cup, is it one of those that he had sharpened and he's about to attack Kinnojo, or is something going to go down? So I think I'm starting to try to keep my stealthiness, but kind of sneak up to him and to the two of them and kind of get ready if I see him try to pull a fast one.
And to our other party members, Sannosuke and Akemi, you both see basically it's Kinnojo. You see this. I mean, you see him kind of milling through the crowd, finally in a singular direction, not stumbling in the circular patterns of a drunk, but actually focused direction in one way. So you think that there's a possibility he might have found them. So that's what y'all see. But you do not see Taya currently. Okay. So taking it away, are y'all going to react to that at all, or are y'all basically going to hold for the moment?
I would squint and see if I could determine.
Okay. So we'll come
I
back.
would start moving in that direction.
All right, so you're going to move in that direction. You're going to
I'm going to
see
stay
it.
back.
Yeah,
The moment that he actually walks up to them and makes physical contact or whatever, the moment that he is actually in the same vicinity as that person, that will be the moment that you can see them.
Okay.
Because at that point, obviously, it's pointed out.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm going to try to be as loud as I can about this, and again, trying to play up that drunk. I'm going to, try to make myself look as harmless as possible, which isn't terribly far from the truth, but yeah.
All right. So you basically offer this guy the drink, and he looks at you, and he's just like, I don't need anything, thanks. And he kind of backs away and starts walking over, trying to mill back into the crowd a bit.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to pay much attention to you otherwise.
I'm gonna hang with him and say, what? You don't want to have a friendly drink? It's a party, man. It's this, it's the whole fight thing. You gotta come out and meet people. What else are you doing with your life?
And he's like, "Look, I appreciate the insight, but he's looking at you, possibly seeing, he doesn't want to smell you because there's a chance you probably smell too much like alcohol out here." And he's just like, "But I'm waiting for someone. So if you don't mind, yeah." And he just again starts to walk off again.
Am I within earshot of hearing that? About like, oh, I'm waiting for someone?
Sure. Say you are.
Okay. Because part of me is like, okay, you're not getting anywhere. I'm thinking, it's like, well, what if I pretend that I'm on his side? And I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm here. What's the plan? What's going on? to kind of like come up to him in a rush to see if I can get him to maybe talk about what he and other people might potentially be up to.
Okay. At that point, you've walked up to him, you've done all that. His brow kind of looks at you in a confused way, but looks at you, looks at Kinnojo, and then also looks at Sannosuke, who is now starting to make his way up. His eyes kind of do that flash of getting bigger, but then try to control his emotions. He's like, excuse me. Turns around and starts trying to walk away from the entire crowd. It's a very controlled withdrawal from the area.
I'd probably try to trip him. I'm with my acrobatics, just try to as he starts to turn and walk, I just try to do like a kick under and take him out from under the knees.
Okay.
And as that's happening, can I... Man, I just got to do something with the second drink. I think I'm gonna throw it, like toss it at him, like he's, pretend like I kind of tripped and like try and toss the drink on him, just to create more confusion.
Okay.
Can I spend a karma point to give myself a sling with a either one of the pellets from my rifle?
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to ping this guy. I don't think it's smart to pull a rifle out with the crowd, and I don't know that he's done anything particularly crime-worthy, but if I could ping this guy in the back of the head with a musket ball or something.
Okay. So all three of you are essentially, you're trying to sweep him.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to...
douse him in
douse
douse him
beer
with
on
beer.
it. Yeah.
You're trying to...
I'll wait until they do. If it looks like, if they're making clear strides towards taking
Okay.
arresting action towards him.
Is that what you feel you're doing at this point? Is it you?
Mm-hmm. I'm
right.
trying
You're trying to stop his movement.
trying to stop his movement so we can find out what the deal is with
Okay.
him.
So go ahead and let's go ahead and do... What are you going to do? Might or athletics? And how are you going about this? Fighting?
That's what I'm trying to look through. Probably fighting, because I'm assuming this guy is, I don't know if he'd be considered considerably bigger than Taya, but I also gain a +1 fighting if I'm trying to go up against someone who's a little bit bigger than me.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Quick questions, 2 questions. Am I close enough to be interacting with this as well?
You will be. Yes.
Okay. And should we roll dynamic dice for our dynamic actions?
After this round, I will allow that.
Okay, so I'm going to do fighting and athletics.
Akemi is still just
Yeah.
I thought we just wanted to find this guy. I didn't know we were taking him down.
It's like now I have him within my corner. I want to try. Yeah, so fighting and athletics for
Okay.
trying to... 1, 2, 3, 4, fighting. 4 successes.
4 successes. All right.
Try to catch him off guard.
Yeah. He, you sweep his feet out from underneath him,
Yeah.
and he hits the ground so hard that it knocks him out.
Hey guys, I got him.
At that point, he is doused with a quick drink.
And I'm probably doused too because I'm like right near him.
Well, and
Sure, why not?
I'm going to say pretty loudly, again, just trying to be as obvious as I can. I'm going to say really loudly, "Oh, man, he just passed out from the, oh, man, this Arata Ryokan stuff is great. This is just the best."
Let's see if eBay really believes you on that, just for fun. Some deception and performance.
I would call that a performance.
Oh, yeah.
Wise guy.
Also, I get a +1 deception to convince someone I'm right.
Okay.
Does this count for that?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
All of that? Just one?
1 success. I rolled 8 dice.
You know, nobody buys the performance, but there's too much going on out here. It's just like,
They're having a good time. They don't care.
God, I hate loud drunks.
And I'm like, I don't buy it. Why did you watch where you were pouring the thing? As I like wipe beer out of my eyes and my hair.
I'm gonna sloppily just
Oh, thanks.
and
You're a help.
Now that the
And
people laugh at a little.
fake drink my beer and say, okay, let's get this guy up, and then
So, did he get knocked out?
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
out cold.
I
Okay,
may
good,
have
good,
went a
good.
little overboard.
Taya.
I'm gonna pour a little bit of the sake on him as well,
Okay.
and then we can help him out. Kinnojo and I can each take him one of his arms over each of us, and we're like, oh, it's such a lightweight, and we'll
Yep.
try to take him to the back somewhere.
All right, so y'all pick him up and disappear into an alley. And we're going to pause our scene here. We're going to continue again on our next episode. We hope that everybody is enjoying themselves, and we will see you for the conclusion of whatever is going to happen to this poor man on the street. So, see y'all soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.